I am opening. I am opening. My heart is ready to receive. I am opening. I am opening. My heart is ready to receive. I am opening. I am opening. My heart is ready to receive.
And so let's just take a moment and check in with our heart. And what is it that we really want? What do we really want to receive? What is our deepest desire? And just allow yourself to be open to receiving it. You don't have to make it happen, but just if you really desire this desire to be fulfilled, don't say no to it. Just be open to it. It's equivalent or better. Just be open to it. And who knows? Who knows what can enter your life when you just have all your doors and windows open. Doors and windows open to your greater good.
I'm opening. I'm opening. My heart is ready to receive. I am opening. I am opening. My heart is ready to receive.
So good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Princeton. We are a loving, healing, and inclusive community which teaches and practices the principles of the science of mind for the well-being and spiritual growth of ourselves and the world. And we welcome you here today. Those of you who are out in digital land, we welcome you. You're as much a part of us as those who are physically here. Today we have the wonderful blessing of having Reverend Karen speaking to us. She's going to be doing a kind of workshop. So for those of you who are watching this on camera, on our Facebook site, you'll see she's posted the form that we're going to be filling out here, so you can join us and do the same thing if you like. Next week we have Reverend Michelle Wadley, who always inspires us. The week after that is Reverend Frankie. So please come and join us. On Wednesdays at 11:45, we have a peace meditation, short, 10 to 15 minutes. Susan Neat does that, and it's on our Facebook page. We'd love you to join us for that. A couple of classes. As you know, we've sent out the information. Reverend Michelle is doing a 10-week class. That's on Wednesday mornings, I think at 10 a.m. I'm going to be teaching a 4-week class on Ernest Holmes' book, Your Invisible Power. That starts August 5th. It's Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Eastern. So you could spend your whole Wednesday doing spiritual practice. So we welcome you. I would love for you to be in my class. It's going to be a really interesting exploration of the stream of non-dual teaching, of oneness. What do we mean when we say there's only one truth? So we're going to be exploring that through Ernest Holmes' book. And so here we are today. Deejah Wynter is our wonderful practitioner. So thank you for being here.
Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind. of life. Get ready, my soul. Everything I've ever done, everything I've ever seen, everything I've lost or won, everything I've ever dreamed has brought me here to the present moment here, to a new beginning here, and I'm seeing life so clearly now. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. Get ready, my soul.
Thank you, Reverend Rich.
The frog has taken residence.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Y'all look so beautiful today.
Thank you.
Gorgeousness.
I love it.
First thing I like to do is to sound the signal. Yeah. This is a note C. It's connected to the high crown. And I like to do it to kind of cleanse the energy in the room and to sort of mark a new beginning. Okay, just for a short period of time. Practitioner of the day is stepping into your greatness, because I don't think we do that often enough or realize how great we are. So let's all take a gentle breath in and slowly release it. Allow yourself to become still. Let your body soften, and let your mind grow quiet. There is nothing you need to accomplish in this moment. Simply be present. As the outer world fades into the background, turn your awareness inward, where the presence of spirit quietly lives. This presence is not separate from you. It is the very life expressing itself as you. Ernest Holmes reminds us there is a power for good in the universe, greater than you are, and you can use it. Take a moment to feel into those words. There is a power already moving through your life. A power of love, intelligence, creativity, and limitless possibility. It has always been with you. It has always been within you. Today, you choose to remember who you truly are. Not a person defined by limitation, fear, or past experiences, but a unique expression of the infinite. Every quality of courage, wisdom, compassion, abundance, and joy already exists within your spiritual nature. Ernest Holmes wrote, "Life is a mirror and will reflect back to the thinker what he thinks into it." As you become aware of this truth, gently release any thought that says you are not enough. Let go of every old story that has kept you small. They no longer define you. In their place, affirm silently, "I am created from infinite spirit. I am worthy of expressing my highest potential. I trust the wisdom within me. I allow my light to shine freely. I step into my greatness with humility, confidence, and love." Feel these words becoming alive within you. Imagine yourself standing in a radiant light. This light is your authentic self, strong, peaceful, joyful, and fully alive. There is nothing you need to earn, nothing you need to prove. Simply by saying yes to your true nature, your greatness unfolds naturally. Ernest Holmes said, "We are surrounded by an infinite intelligence which responds to us as we respond to it." Feel yourself responding now with faith instead of doubt, with possibility instead of limitation, with love instead of fear. Know that every step you take from this awareness opens new doors. Every inspired thought plants seeds of good. Every loving action reveals more of your divine nature. Rest for a moment in gratitude. Grateful for the presence that guides you. Grateful for the wisdom that lives within you. Grateful for the greatness that is already awakening in every area of your life. And so, we move forward with an open heart, trusting that light lives through you, knowing that you are supported, guided, and inspired every step of the way. Slowly come back into this room as I speak this words with each one. There is one life, that life is God, that life is perfect, that life is the life of each one listening. There is one infinite love. There is one power, vast, expansive, all-powerful. The infinite spirit is operating in, through, as, and around each one. Each one is one with God and therefore one with their highest and greatest good. Each one is always moving from good to greater. And so each one is embracing this idea of stepping into their greatness. Each one is realizing with divine clarity that they are one with the greatest power on the planet, and therefore stepping into their greatness allows each one to know and to manifest their highest good. I know that God operates in each one as clarity, intelligence, and wisdom. God is operating in each one as perfect health and perfect well-being. God is operating in each one as creative expression, clear voice, and an awesome, awesome good. And so each one embraces their individuality, their greatness, and moves forward today to even greater good. I am so grateful to know this truth. I release it into the great law of mind action, God's loving law. And together, to confirm this, we say, and so it is.
There's a silence in the morning when the stars still linger low. I sit there with my longing for a truth I've yet to know. Not a whisper, not a thunder, but a stillness drawing near, where the heart begins to wander and the soul begins to clear. I'm diving deep where the current runs slow, where the dreamer meets the doer, and the river starts to flow. In the chamber of the heart, where the seeds of wonder grow, I'm diving deep to the all I've come to know. So I'll rise with my devotion to the work and to the flame. Let the winds of pure emotion carve that truth I will not name. For the flow is ever guiding, like a river knows the sea. And the art is in the finding the love that flows through me. And I'm diving deep where the voices are all still, where the quiet paints a vision and the pulse becomes a will. In the garden of the mind, love is shaping every hill. I'm diving deep and the world begins to fill. It's not a gift that's given, it's a song that's always sung. The melody eternal in the air and on the tongue. Creation is a prayer, not for pleading, but for praise. It's the fire in the eyes and the dawn in all my days. I'm diving deep in the wellstream inside, where the silence turns to color and the soul forgets to hide. In the stillness of the source, I no longer need to try. I'm diving deep into the heart that paints the sky. I'm diving deep in the heart that paints the sky. I'm diving deep into the heart that paints the sky. And now let's take us deeper. Our licensed practitioner has brought us to one level of deepness. And hopefully the song has helped a little bit with that. And now we're going to have a wonderful, amazing Reverend Karen Dr. Kushner.
Doctor.
Dr. Reverend Dr. Coming to bring it all home.
Yes. All right, so it's great to be with you all again. And my topic today is, do you need another one back there for Pat? Oh, there you go. Everybody else has got it. Okay, good. Going deeper by becoming clearer, or something like that.
Yes.
So the first thought I had is this, the name of this community is Center for Spiritual Living, Princeton. So spiritual is the emphasis. It's what makes this community different than my knitting group or my rowing club. So spiritual means that there's something more to life, more to us, than what we see here in our experience on earth. There's something more to us. So if you're in a 12-step program, the first step is to, well, one of the steps maybe, is to recognize that they call it a higher power. But they're meaning something more than you. And for a beginner in a particular 12-step program who does not want to believe in anything spiritual or God or anything, that something greater than them is the group. And as they grow in practicing those 12 steps, which, right, is an experience and you're never done, but you do end up getting clearer and clearer about what this means to you, this higher power. So the first thing that we want to understand is, no matter how spiritual or not you think you are, you begin by honoring exactly where you are. You don't have to be more spiritual. You don't have to be more religious. You don't have to be more anything. Right where you are is perfect. So accept that. Just the way you are, right where you are, with what you believe right now. It's perfect. It's where you can start. You can't start where I am, because I'm not even sure where I am. But and I can't start where you are. It's spirituality is individual. Each one of us has our own experience of something greater than we are, which is unlike anyone else's. We listen to everybody else's experience and we go, oh, I didn't know that. And every once in a while we might get an idea that we think, oh, I wish I had that. And then we begin to work on it. So Reverend Rich did these fabulous songs about going deeper. And so what the first step in going deeper is to realize you're not trying to go out there to God. What you're going to do is go deeper in discovering who you are. The spiritual truth is, at the very bottom of our being, we are infinite. And we talk about here the divinity within, the love within, the beauty within, the power within, within. So to make it more honest and practical for ourselves, all we do is turn into paying attention to what's going on. Perhaps, first of all, what's going on in my thinking? What am I thinking right now? So that instead of just thinking what we're thinking, we start thinking about, what am I thinking? We start thinking about our thinking. That's actually going deeper at the mental level. What am I thinking right now? As soon as I say that, this thinker of me is now thinking about what I'm thinking. And likewise, you could also check in with your heart or how you are feeling. And think about or focus on, how am I feeling? It's about you going deeper into you. So when I'm really busy getting things done, I very superficially pay attention to how I'm feeling, because I'm busy. And then life usually lets me know I need to pay attention to how I'm feeling. Usually, right, I'm not even going to say how it happens, but something causes me to stop, busy, 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 and notice, how am I feeling? There is, I handed out to you a spiritual practice to-do list. It's just something for you to use. And there's a section there that calls others. I'm going to suggest some other spiritual practices that you can do. You can write them down. But what I would like each of you to do during our little time while I'm yapping here, I want you to think about what could work for me. Or what do I want to do? Out of all these spiritual practices that are listed here, or that I might say, maybe there's another spiritual practice that you would like to do. And write that down. I want to do this spiritual practice. We're halfway through the year. We're going to ump up our spirituality, our possibility mid-year, so that we have a fabulous second half of the year, even more fabulous than the first half. No matter what the first half was like, let's have even better than whatever that was. So the best way to do that is with a spiritual practice, which means it's a practice of paying attention to yourself. Paying attention to yourself, because ultimately, at the very inner being of yourself is this higher power, is this spiritual presence. Call it God, call it the all-good, that's my favorite name right now, the all-good. Call it infinite mind, call it the loving presence within. You get to name it. You get to say what's at the very bottom of your being. And so at the very least say, at the very bottom of my being is infinite potential. Infinite potential. That's being spiritual. It's that easy. So the infinite potential within me, a spiritual practice is an activity we engage in to become more aware of the infinite potential within me. So what am I thinking? What do I think about the higher power? About the infinite potential within me? Deejah did this fabulous meditation. That's a spiritual practice, right? Meditation, it's on the list. But the one that she said, stepping into my greatness, the greatness within me, the greatness within me, what is that? Thinking about that is a spiritual practice. So you could sit down and journal. You could say, what is the greatness within me saying to me today? And then just write whatever comes to your mind. If you notice in all these practices, there's you could do a daily gratitude journal. I used to buy the little books that gave you 5 years of I think you did, no, it was 1 year of 5 gratitudes a day. I will admit, I never made it through the whole year. So then I actually tried to recycle the year, like mid-year, go, oh, let me finish last year by writing this year, whatever. I still haven't finished a book, but several of them. But spiritual practice is not about being perfect in your spiritual practice. Spiritual practice shows us our perfection. Practice makes perfect. Spiritual practice makes perfect. So our assignment is, you're all here. What did you come here for? Well, I know pretty much everyone here, and I know you want to connect with something more. And so it is your life, your connection with the divine that you want. And right where you are, right, I already said that's perfect. But actually coming here on Sunday is a spiritual practice. And when I first started working on improving my life, that's all I could do was show up. I would just show up to classes. I probably did no spiritual practice all the rest of the week, but I showed up for every class. The classes were Tuesday nights, and I would be there every Tuesday night. Or actually, at the very beginning, I was more a revolving door attendee. So I would go to a couple classes going, I got it, and I would leave. And then when my life became chaotic again, I'd come crawling back. But so our spiritual practice, wherever we are, it does begin. You're building a habit of reminding yourself of something within you, had infinite potential within you, and like all habits, it takes practice before it becomes a habit. So you don't have to like, oh, I forgot to do my spiritual practice for the past 3 weeks, whatever, I give up. No, you did it once 3 weeks, okay, maybe you're a once a 3 weeks connecting with something within. Start there. That is where you're at. And what happens is, the truth is, right, that something within us, think about it, that infinite potential within, infinite potential for good within us. We start wanting to touch that, be aware of that more and more. And so we think, what's another spiritual practice I can do? The best spiritual practice for you, one of my teachers said, is the one that you do. So if you can't meditate, whatever, I'm still a 5-minute meditator. I mean, if I'm with a group and they're guiding the meditation, or I'm just with there are some groups who have silent meditations online. If I turn that on, I'll be there very comfortably for an hour or however long it is. But on my own, the 5-minute timer on the microwave, I set that, and deliberate, concentrating, thinking about a quality that I want to have more of, that I want to become more aware of. So that's one of my meditating spiritual practices, unless I'm being guided by someone online or Deejah's right there. I'll just do 5 minutes about a quality I usually love, that I want to have more of. The Dalai Lama said that if each one of us, and I'm trying to remember this because it's been a while since I actually paid attention to what he said something like, if we each spent 5 minutes a day just loving ourselves, if everyone did it, we would have complete world peace. So what I did when I heard about that practice, that's what I did with the timer. I set it for 5 minutes and I just sat down and I practiced loving myself. And I didn't know how to do it because I didn't have the feeling of love. I mean, I was busy. Sit down and love myself, takes some energy, like in the love. I don't know. But what I did was I started mentally saying, I love myself. I love my beautiful, thick brown hair. I love my bright brown eyes. I love my skin. I love my life. I just mentally said everything about me that I love, whether I felt the love or not. Because love is a blessing. And that which we love magnifies. And so spending 5 minutes a day just practicing that mental assertion, I love me. I love me. Dr. Ernest Holmes, in one of his many books, has an affirmation that people used to do back in the 1930s and 40s, I guess, say, wonderful, wonderful me. You can write that down if you like that practice. I'm just throwing them out. But see, wonderful, wonderful me. Do you agree? If you were to say that to yourself, wonderful, wonderful me, does everything agree? Well, people, you practiced it. But when the first time you do it, the first time I said it, wonderful, wonderful me, I'm like, Okay, maybe spiritually it's wonderful me, but the Karen that's walking around on this planet needs some work. But as we practice saying wonderful, wonderful me, more and more of us starts listening to that wonderfulness within us and showing us our wonderfulness. Another loving practice which I found really difficult, and this practice was given to me probably 40 plus years ago, to look in the mirror and say, looking right into your own eyes and saying, I love you. I love you. The first time I did this, I burst into tears. And then the advanced practice. This is after you've done this a number of times. Again, it doesn't have to be every day. Whenever you do it, it's enough power to affect you. You might need to let it settle for a while before you do it again. But the advanced practice is to stand in front of your full-length mirror nude.
Oh.
And say, I love you. So I actually got pretty good at it. I would stand like this, I love you, with the hands, hiding those little important little bits, whatever. But eventually, yes, with I would say over, 40-some years doing it, maybe, when I think of it, say once a year. Maybe a couple times when I think of it, I'll do it and then forget about it because, life happens. That's all I've done it. So maybe once a year, a couple times when I've thought of it. And now when I get out of the shower, I don't care what this body is doing. I'm like, yeah. Looking good. There could have been so much more of you. Look how good you are. Whatever. Because let's think about it. As you focus within, you start withdrawing your measuring from without. So it's the world that says what the right weight is, what the right dimensions are, or what hair, we had hair color discussion, what hair color you should have. It's the world, it's the outer that's saying the way you should look and the way you should be. And the inner is saying, no, be you. And so spiritual practice is, I came from a traditional thing where spiritual practice was something you better do or you're going to hell. The consequences of not doing spiritual practice is hell. And in a sense, they got it right. But hell is not a place where you go to. When you're not connected to the real you inside, and you're totally connected to what everybody else is saying and what they're thinking of you and how they're looking at you, and some internal mother, father whose voices are in you. That's what I have. A mother, father, haven't figured out who, because he's always saying, Karen, you should, you ought it. I don't even know if my earthly parents actually said that, but that's, actually I think it was my particular religious school that I went to that was saying you should, you gotta, you oughta. But when you're listening to any external voice, you are in hell. Right? Because those external voices don't say, be you. They're fixing you. Even some external voices, they want to help you be you. That's not help. That's hell. It's when you yourself pay attention to yourself just a little bit more than whatever you had been doing the previous moment is all you need to do. That's your spiritual practice. So all these spiritual practices, no matter what they are, they all have as their purpose for you to become aware of you. And the best spiritual practice for me This is going to sound a little convoluted. But my best spiritual practice is to be surrounded by external people who are supporting me in doing my spiritual practice. So, going from within and listening to what the inner divine, infinite potential within me says, okay, I'm working on that, but let me be in this community. Like right now, I will admit to you, this is the highest consciousness I've had all week, right? Speaking to all of you. And if I did this to myself in the mirror, it wouldn't be as good. I wouldn't be as connected. Because, I listen to the outer. That's how I was raised, listening to the outer. So I'm working on it, but you see, that's individual. That's me. That's what works for me. And if you're able to the artist's way spiritual practice of your daily pages, starting every day, that is a high spiritual practice because all you're doing is listening to yourself and writing down whatever comes to your mind, maybe 3 pages whenever you do it. They recommend once a day. Yeah, that's a great recommendation. But will you do it once a day? I don't know, maybe. But if you do it once a year, right? You're listening. And what you write down, you're not going to forget. You're going to be thinking about it. It's going to be playing in the back of your mind. Eventually, right, we want to reach that point where the voice, the commentator in our head switches from why'd you do that? What's that? Commenting to a coach. Oh, good job. You cleaned the sink. Yeah, wash the dishes. The rest of the counter might be a disaster, but you wash those dishes. Yeah. Again, see, the relationship with yourself is what spiritual practice is doing. So, yes, many of the world religions begin with teaching about that God outside of you who's watching. Like my God, when I was growing up, was like a giant Santa Claus. But Christmas was after you're dead. You find out how many presents you got under the tree. And the worst, right, would be hell, which means no Christmas ever. Right? So, okay, that was my interpretation of what very spiritual, religious people taught me. That's what I took from it. But to move from that to accepting me as what? A divine creator created. God made me. God made you. Just the way you are, in all your magnificence. That's another one of my very early spiritual practices. That divine made me just the way I am in all my magnificence. And so if the world says I screwed up, and even if I agree with the world, God made me do it. It's God's fault. But you see, the human race, because we're so far away from self-acceptance, we come up with these rules or guidelines of the way it should look. We love to judge each other. Like, oh, that person's really holy. They kneel a lot. One of my mentors, Dr. Dr. Robert Bitzer, he used to sit in his office as the senior minister where he was, and he would spend time meditating or connecting with the divine. He would sit there with his eyes closed, connecting with the divine. And every once in a while, his secretary would come in and say, "Oh, I didn't mean it. You need a little nap." He's like, "I wasn't napping. I was connecting." And she's like, "Oh, don't tell me. You were asleep." Well, no, he was communing. He was just closing his eyes, right? It's just to the outer stimulation and just listening within. So, right now, okay, so the best spiritual practice for me, actually, I couldn't come on Sundays to the service when I first started, because to me, Sundays was church, and I wasn't guided. It wouldn't work for me. But I was for classes. And so we have John. Has that class started?
No, it starts August 5th.
August 5th, he's offering an online class. Classes are a high spiritual practice. Number one, it's good for me because I'm surrounded by people all seeking the truth. So I get clear about it, whether I'm teaching it or attending it. It's always the best. In a group of people who are all focusing on listening within, it seems like for me, more inspiration comes while I'm present. And I think that's because I'm paying attention with intention. And so a class that's on our list somewhere, study, read scriptures and teachings of truth daily, take classes based on spiritual truth. There you go. So when you're in class, you are reading spiritual truth. So it's Dr. Ernest Holmes' book. Any book, any religion or non-religion that speaks to universal truths, you can get something out of. Right now I'm studying Sri Aurobindo's book. It's like 1,000 pages. Did I get to page 100? Yes, I am. I'm up to 140. My summer project, I don't know. But I mean, just even though I don't understand every third sentence, now maybe I don't understand every other sentence, I'm reading, I'm studying. So when you're in a class like that, you're studying some kind of sacred writings about truth, coming through an ordinary person, Ernest Holmes, and you're listening to what it says, what you hear being said in you. And so as you read, what you want to do is notice, out of that paragraph, is there a sentence that I really like? I underline it or highlight it. I mark up my books like crazy. But is there a sentence that I don't understand completely, or I'd like to know more about it? What I do when I read a sentence that I'm like, what does that mean? Maybe I understood it 20 years ago when I read that particular book. But now, there's something in me that wants to know more. So I put a question mark there, and if there's an opportunity in the class, which usually there is, you can ask a question. You could say, you know, this particular sentence got my attention. Can you speak about it? Can you say something more about it? That's how I was taught with my teacher, Dr. Stuart Grayson. He would say, okay, you weren't allowed to raise your hand. I mean, this was the old days. You had to write it on a piece of paper. So you would say, can you explain this paragraph to me? And he would say, where is it, where is it? He would read everything around it, and he would zero in on it, and then he would just listen and speak what comes to him about that. So much more than the written thing on the page. So that's the thing about any type of sacred text. There's words that someone is trying to use to describe something that is indescribable by any language. But in listening and focusing on it like we can in a class, you get something more. Maybe it's crystal clarity about what it means, but sometimes it's like, I don't know what it means, but it's true for me, or I want to believe it's true for me. So, so what I invite you to do is go through this list. Now, first of all, this list was written by Reverends Lloyd Strom and Marcia Sutton. They were spiritual mentors for me while they were on the planet. Both of them only recently decided to move on to some other form of life experience. And so this is their words. So someone asked me a question about Holy Communion. If that doesn't resonate with you, ignore it. It's not for you. Just realize it's not for me. And so as you go through this list, see, is there one that you think that would be fun? Think of a spiritual practice that you think might be fun. Or, if you're like me when I first began, nothing was fun. Everything was a chore. But begin with one that I think I'd like to try. I'd like to try. If you haven't been in classes, maybe try a class. If you haven't read a spiritual text, find one. Anything by Ernest Holmes. They've got some Science of Mind magazines. There's lots of truth in there. Just something. Or even just looking at this. What would I like to do? Oh, attend spiritual services regularly. Check. Done it. Okay? How about look under service? Serve my church in some way, serve my community in some way, allow myself to be served. So go through this list, circle. So what you get to do is you go through this list, you check the ones that you already do, and if it's empty, fine. That's where I am. God made me this way. And move forward. If it doesn't apply to you, you can put a slash. Like if you don't like that Holy Communion one, just put a slash. But circle one or two that you think you might like to try. Or you might want to engage in. Like if you're planning on attending John's class, circle that. You get to circle it. Take classes based on spiritual truth. Yeah, that's a good one. Oh, there's just so many here as I look at it, but then I've offered you a whole lot more. And then when you do come to a community like this or in classes like this, you're going to find other students make other suggestions about spiritual practices. So that frequently people have suggested something in a class what they do, and I'm like, oh, that sounds good. I'm going to try that one for a little bit. And I'll write that down and try it for a little bit. And sometimes it's something I stick with, and sometimes it falls away. Imagine yourself building a backpack full of spiritual tools, and you can pick out of it whatever one you like any given moment, or any given day, or any given month. And enjoy it. Because ultimately, or listen within and create a practice that works for you, that maybe no one else has ever done before. Because there's infinite potential within us, right? There's infinite spiritual practices we can develop. So we're going to move forward with our collection and some music, and I'll come back and I'll do a spiritual one treatment to support each one of us in actually practicing whatever we have chosen for ourselves. Okay, let's move forward.
And I just want to add, there are different ways of using this experience of coming here Sunday morning, right? For many of us, we just want to be together on a Sunday morning. That's great. But this center is about the possibility of growth of consciousness, which will then show up in your life as newness. And so the question to ask yourself, each one of us, that I ask myself, is, am I using, look at this wonderful thing that Reverend Karen gave us. Am I using the things that are coming to me, and am I growing? And if I'm not, what can I do differently to expand my consciousness? Because when you expand your consciousness, you will grow. It will show up. So your choice is a nice place to come on Sunday morning, or a place to really expand your consciousness. I just want to remind you.
Thank you, John. Thank you, Reverend Dr. Karen. So we come to the part of our service where we're going to pass the basket of love. With open hearts, we pause in gratitude for the abundance already present among us. We recognize that giving is a sacred circulation of love, faith, and divine supply. As we prepare to share our gifts, we bless both the giver and the receiving work they support. We know that in this holy exchange, all are enriched and the good continues to unfold. For all of those at home, you can go to our website, which is www.cslprinceton.org, and look for the donation button, and you will be able to make your payment through PayPal, and I believe you have a choice of doing it through a credit card. So we appreciate that. And you can just hold the basket and bless it if you've given already or if you're not able to give today. Blessing it multiplies our gifts.
Grateful, 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 so grateful, grateful for the message, grateful, grateful,
Thank you.
grateful for the teaching, grateful for the teachings, grateful, grateful for the friendship, grateful for the friendship, grateful. Grateful for the fellowship, grateful for the fellowship, grateful, so grateful, grateful,
We're so grateful.
grateful, so grateful.
Enjoying gratitude, these gifts are accepted, received, knowing that the Center for Spiritual Living Princeton is guided, guarded, protected, and completely financially supported in all of its activities. We're truly grateful. Thank you so very much. Reverend Dr. Karen, could you close us out? Or is there another song in
Okay.
He knows.
Okay, all right. Yeah, so you'll see on that list, spiritual practice under tithing. So when I first started coming on Sundays, I thought Dr. Stuart Grayson, that's as good as a movie. So I'd put $5 in the basket, and then he got better. So I'd start putting $10 in the basket. And then I was meeting with a practitioner, another spiritual practice, once a month, and she taught me how to begin tithing. So my training wheels tithe was to start tithing 2% of my net income. And as I got comfortable, I would increase it. So 2% of my net income was probably equivalent to the $10. But it's a spiritual practice because it made me become aware of my relationship with money. And every time I tithe, I am recognizing God's the source of my very life. I had to do training wheels to get there, but I got there. I wanted to be the consciousness of someone who tithes freely and abundantly. And I know with Reverend Edwin Gaines on this planet, I have a way yet to grow. However, I'm really pleased with my attitude, what I'm thinking, believing when I do that spiritual practice. So anyway, just had to say that because I just love that practice, and I hated it to start. I'm like, $5 is good enough for a movie. There we go. All right. Anyway, so let's take a moment right now. This word is being spoken for each one, because within each one is the presence of life, of intelligence, all of its guidance, all of its wisdom, all of its love is right now with each one. And that loving presence within is loving each one just the way he or she is. That loving presence made each one the way they are. And that loving presence loves everything about each one. And so right now, this loving presence is gently and clearly guiding each one into that perfect practice that reminds them of how much they are loved by that which made them. And so each one now knows what is a perfect way of being reminded of the love that is being felt for them always. And calling that my spiritual practice, it is enough. And each one loves, absolutely loves, that continuous reminder of how much they are loved. I am grateful that this is the truth. Release this word to that infinite law that makes it so, and we all agree and accept it by saying together,
and so it is.